Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum. Welcome to the art and science of Mudra. Mudra means gesture, seal, or mark. And in Hatha Yoga, the tradition in which I have been raised, Mudra and Pranayama come together in order to guide, intensify, or direct the energy fields, the flow of prana through the physical and subtle body. Consciousness is activated or stimulated, and there's a whole range of mudras from the Mula Bandh, which means the energetic lock, the great energetic lock, the Mahamudra, or the lock at the root, Mula Bandh, Viparitikarani, legs up the wall, that is a mudra, Kachari Mudra, when you bring the tongue to the roof of the temple of the mouth, Vajroli Mudra. These are all ways of directing and gesturing qualities of energy. So, for example, the Abhaya Mudra is a gesture of fearlessness, and it represents protection, peace, benevolence, the dispelling of fear. And Mudra is a highly evolved form of yoga. It is a means of drawing in and stimulating and guiding the primary energies, not only within the body and the mind, but the soul and the universe itself. And then it seals those energies in. We connect with the 5 elements, the Pancha Mahabhutas. We connect with the doshas, and our sacred intentions become an opportunity for us to operate along the healing continuum, in which we have a chance to let go of old karmic energy and to focus on the reawakening, the healing energy. In yoga, the philosophical concept of having a multi-leveled or multi-dimensional being refers to the Pancha-Maya koshas. The Pancha-Maya koshas are 5 layers of consciousness, and each layer has, think of it as a Russian doll. And as we practice yoga, we are working through each of these sheaths or koshas to move towards the innermost essence of one's being or the outermost essence of one's being. The layers move from the gross to the subtle, so the most physical to the most ethereal. And the 5 layers are the Annamaya kosha, the physical body, the Pranamaya kosha, the energy body, the Manomaya kosha, the mental body, the Vyanamaya kosha, the wisdom body, and then Anandamaya kosha, the bliss body or the body of consciousness. And as we move through each of these layers, we connect with the higher self. We connect with the aspects of ourselves that is a true reflection of our soul. These concentric bodies or layers can move inward or radiate outward. And when we practice yoga, we begin by working, and we practice mudra, we begin by working on the physical layer, the Annamaya kosha, and then it becomes ever more deeper. So we move into the pranic layer, where the unseen layer of dynamic energy is that vital life force energy, which is alchemized by our practice of yoga mudra. we move towards the emotional or mental bodies, the Manumaya kosha. This is where we work at unlearning and relearning, interrupting and disrupting thought loops, habitual patterns of behavior and thinking and beliefs, lenses and both the conscious and unconscious bias and prejudice and perspectives that we may hold. We move into then the deeper layer of the intuitive or wisdom self, in which we come into clarity, into discernment. When things come into view, we have greater understanding, where we hear our inner voice, our inner callings, the vibrational energy of the universe itself is felt. This is where we can see beyond where the points at which we have dismantled or deconstructed our conditioned thinking. And then we move into our bliss or conscious body, which is the expansive, radiant joy body, in which one is limitless, boundless. And when we hold mudra, we are connecting with our pranic body, and we begin to move and shift the energy into a much more deeper, more integrated level. So as we begin to shift the energy in the body, the binda, which is the total self, the complete self, the whole self, binda reflects the universe, and just as in the universe, there are different worlds, there are different levels, loka, deities, different sacred places. This micro-universe is reflected within our own subtle body, in our sukshma sharir. And through our practice of mudra, through our practice of yoga, we begin to penetrate at each successive level of subtlety. Now, our body has up to 72,000 channels through which, or rivers through which energy flows, rivers of light through which energy flows. These penetrate each layer of the Panchamaya kosha. And so when we practice mudra, we are beginning to dislodge and shift that energy at different points. So it's very purposeful and intentional practice. So we will spend more time on this theory of the subtle body and the Panchamaya koshas. It interconnects with the three body practice, the Sharira Traya understanding of the self. So the whole self is the Atman, that is that's your soul, Atman, your soul as part of the universal soul. The three bodies, Sharir Traya, the gross body, the subtle body, and the astral body, interweaves with the Panchamaya kosha self. The Annamaya Pranamaya is part of the Stula Sharir, in which the Panchamahabhutas, the five elements, the Karmindreya, the Karmindreya, the Gyanindreya are all connected. So the organs of action and the organs of perception. Then we have the layer of the Sukshma Sharir, where the subtle body is. This is where the Pancha Prana Vayus, Pran, Apan, Udan, Saman, Vyan operate. The chakras, the seven chakra system, the Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipur, Anahata, the Vishuddha, the Ajna, and the Sahasrara chakras. as well as the locks, the 3 energetic locks, the Mula Band, the Uddiyana Band, and the Jalandhar Band. These operate on the layer of the Pranamaya, the Manomaya, and the Vyanamaya koshas, and then you have the karmic or the astral layer, the Karana Sharir, in which the Anandamaya sits. The symbolic meaning of mudra essentially connects to bliss dissolving. And we have different types of mudra. So the energy mudra means sort of energy seal or gestural mark. It's how energy is guided, directed, and expanded. It refers to that dissolution between the self and the greater self, and it creates this union between the two, between you as the yogin and the divine source. And so mudra can be a hasta mudra, so mudra with the hands, kaya mudra, mudra with the body, and the chitta mudra, a mudra with the conscious mind or consciousness itself. And the fingers, so if you're practicing hasta mudra, which is generally what this will connect to, but when we practice yogasana, we're practicing mudra with the body, kaya mudra. The fingers in hasta mudra act like electrical circuits through which energy flows and becomes intensified, and then connects with stimulation of healing or transformation. Each finger represents one of the 5 elements, Panchamahabhuta, and you often can use mudra in ritual, in prayer, as well as practice. Many of the mudras are incorporated in classical Indian dance and tell stories and weaves narratives of the mythological figures. Often the iconography, the murtis of the deities will demonstrate the use of various hasta mudra, and look out for, when you look at the different mudras, how the mudra is held by a particular deity. So before we start practicing mudra, let's think about how to warm up the hands in particular. Let's start by warming up the fingers first. So let's start by pressing back each finger so that you feel an extension at the base of the fingers. So we'll go through this. And now let's bend the fingers in at the knuckle and then press the thumb against the nail of each finger. And now you can tap the thumb to the tip of each finger. So a rhythmic dance with each finger. And you can use the option to chant Rama Dasa Sata Nama, which is a Sikh mantra in Gurmukhi. Rama Dasa Sata Nama. and it connects to the elemental energies and the planetary bodies of the universe. Sa ta na ma ra ma da sa. Sorry. Ra ma da sa sa da na ma. Ra ma da sa sa da na ma. Okay, now let's make the movements a little bit bigger. Let's extend and back of each wrist. So you sort of almost come into a namaskar and then push back. Your namaskar. So extending the back of each wrist. Let's rotate each wrist by folding in the fingers, rotate in both directions. Interlace your fingers, and then let's create a little fist and do a figure of 8. Interlock the fingers and then extend the hands forward. And then turn them around. It helps also open up the back of the shoulders. And then clench your fist in and soften, clench, soften, clench, soften, clench, soften. And if you're on the earth, then you can place, or on your table, place the hands down flat, so peacock hands, and then you can also place them hands. So if we're doing this, we can do this with our hands. So if you're on the earth, you can place them on the earth. So you can do peacock hands and then reverse hands. Usually you can do this in Simasana. So when I do Simasana in my practices, you'll see this is what I do, we stretch the hands like that. Now options to make some shoulder movements. So shoulder movements, Gomukhasana. So open out the arms, take the left hand behind you, then hold the back of your t-shirt, hold a belt, and then pull the hands in the opposite directions. Let's go the other way. And you can spend more time doing this. You can pause the video and have a good extension of the arms here. Shoulder rolls, so rolling backwards, forwards. You can do alternate shoulders. Coming into a bear hug. And then let's open the arms. So if you're against the wall, this is where I suggest you place your arm against the wall so that you can come into angel wings on the wall. So you're creating this clock face on the wall. Or we can just circle the arm around here. And then let's take our arms behind your backs and come into a clasp opposite elbows or wrists. And then you can come into Yoga Mudra behind your back and draw your hands away from you, down towards the earth. And then let's reach up with our hands as well. So it's created lots of movement and flow in the shoulders, the arms, and the wrists, and the hands and the fingers. So let's rub your hands together for 20 to 30 seconds. So you're creating a fire stick. You can feel the warmth rising out of your hands. Again, we're just stimulating not only the flow of blood, but the nerve endings. And let's do a little hand massage. So if you're hand massage, you can use some oil, or if you don't have any oil available, you can just rub them here. So let's think about, so we've done the Rama, Da, Sa, Sa, Da, Na, Ma. Let's think about massaging to the tip of each finger. I'm going to just see if I've got a little bit of oil. Yeah. Yes, I'll use this one. So this is an energy oil here, so I'll just rub that on my hands with a bit of essential oil in it. So let's massage the tip of each finger. So draw your fingers along, obviously, Oh, that smells beautiful. So yeah, a little bit of essential oil is always very beautiful. So gently pulling and massaging towards the tip of each finger, each hand. And now let's softly bring the fingers in and let's rub the nails together like a cheese board or washboard even. Cheese board would be a bit rougher on the fingers. Okay, now let's massage. So with the thumb and the index, let's massage the web between each finger. So that webbed fleshy part between each finger. You can take your time doing this again. I'm doing a sort of quick demonstration for you here, but obviously when you're practicing you can spend more time doing this. Okay, and then let's massage. So taking your middle fingers, take your hand and rub it down each hand, so opposite hand. So I'm going to do it so I can see it. So you're following the bones here. And then let's just shake them out, little star fingers. And your hands should feel enlivened and warmed, and you can feel the circulation and the activation. And now let's take a few moments to place our hands on our laps. So with your hands, palms face up on your laps. Now your position that you can adopt when you practice Hasta Mudra in particular, seated on a chair, directly on the earth with your legs crossed in Sukhasana, kneeling on your knees in Vajrasana, on a bolster perhaps, standing in Tadasana, lying down in Shavasana, or while you're moving in your Yogasana practice. So palms face up on your lap. And let's take a few moments here to take in the serene quietness of our environment, perhaps tuning into the sounds of nature, the sounds of your home, seeking to quieten the thoughts so that you can tune into the tingling and pulsating sensations in your hands and body. Your eyes can be open, soft, closed. Staying here for a few seconds. Now you'll be ready to begin to perform various mudra. And you can apply pressure. So when you adopt a mudra, so here I'm adopting the Gilhayana mudra, bring the tips of the index and thumb together and apply enough pressure to feel the energy flow. It's not hard, it's gentle. And you can't go wrong, you know. You want to maintain some softness in the asana because you're inviting, it's an invitation for the energy to flow. And you want to hold each mudra for the very least 2 minutes so that you begin to notice the calming or soothing effect of the mudra. And if you use the same mudra, for example, you're in Yogasana practice, keep coming back to the same mudra and holding that mudra throughout your practice. So choose between 1 and 3 different mudra and adopt those mudra during your practice. Nyasa Mudra, and Kara Nyasa. So Nyasa means to, with a dynamic gesture of your hand or body, is to place the essence of the divine into your body. So Nyasa means to place, put, or install. And so when we, every deity has a sacred mantra, bija sound, a seed sound, and symbolically we place that bija sound, the mantra, for each deity or each chakra, for example, onto different parts of our body. So we symbolically use the gesture to connect to that placement of the qualities associated with and attributed to particular deities or chakra. And then each of the things are connected with the 5 elements, the Pancha Mahabhutas. But before, and then when we look at Sankhya philosophy, this will all make much more sense. But each finger is also connected with Atman, Jivanatman, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas are the gunas. They're connected to gunas. And so if you think about what an Atman, the Atman is the divine soul. And it is the universal self, the self to which all belongs, to which is all a part of, which is within all. It is this self with a capital S, is pure consciousness or witness consciousness. And so in order for one to attain liberation, moksha, one must acquire self-knowledge or knowledge of the Atman, Atman Gyan. And Atman, this universal self, the universal soul, is the aspiration that is towards which we are journeying in our yogic practice. We are seeking to move towards awareness of pure consciousness, to become non-attached to the individual self and to become one with the universe itself, with the divine. The Jivan Atman, or the Jiva Atman, is the individual soul. And this individual soul is your individual self. So you start this awareness of the self, and awareness of the self leads to awareness of the whole. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas represent different forms of energetic qualities. They are principles of the universe, and we will spend more time, but essentially Sattva is associated with enlightenment. Rajas is associated with action and dynamic action, and Tamas is associated with innermost, inward, static energy. So just as each finger represents these greater philosophical concepts, it also represents the elements and the chakras. So these next 2 slides are really sort of one screenshot that helps you to kind of like associate each finger. We have the thumb representing Agni, element of fire. The Manipur chakra, the index is connected to Vayu, the element of air, and the Anahata chakra. The middle finger is connected to Akasha, ether or space, and the Vishuddha chakra. The ring finger is connected to Prithvi, earth, and the Muladhara chakra, and the little finger is connected to Jal, or water. And when you put all 5 fingers together and you hold the palms together in Namaskar, you are representing all of the 5 elements. And so when you use any of the specific mudra that are associated with these elemental energies, it helps to restore the balance of those elements within the body. And so when you think about the element of fire, it's connected to assertiveness, vitality, and Mars. If you think about the index finger representing air and representing planet Jupiter, this represents judgment, reflection, travel. The middle finger represents space and the planet Saturn, which represents self-control, responsibility. The ring finger represents Earth and the planet Venus, relationship to others and affects the emotions. The little finger represents water and the planet Mercury, which is all about communication and the mind. We also have the fingers related to the different actions of the Vayus as well. On this slide, you can see some options for the elements. So we have the thumb to the ring finger is Prithvi, thumb to the little finger, tip of the little finger is for the Jal, element of water, Mudra Jal, thumb to the knuckle of the ring finger for fire, thumb to the knuckle of the index finger for Vayu, and thumb to the tip of the middle finger for Akasha. Here you have the Gyan chakra, so thumb to the tip of the index finger, and then also you can have all of the thumb and the little fingers aligned to create the lotus flower Padma Mudra for representing the Sahasrara chakra. The location of how you place the position of your thumb and the palms is important. It's significant because it will either add to and intensify and increase specific energy, or it will balance or reduce or decrease specific types of energy. So when we bring the thumb to the tip of the finger, we are seeking to find balance, stability in an element or chakra. If we bring the thumb to the back of the nail or the knuckle, we are seeking to decrease the influence of a particular element or chakra. If we bring the thumb to the base of the finger, we are seeking to stimulate or activate or increase a particular chakra or element. If we have the palms face up, we are seeking an invigoration or an inspiring form of energy, so it's more dynamic. If we have the palms face down, we are seeking to calm, ground, and root with our energy. So these positions are also significant when you practice mudra. It will come with time. So as you begin to develop your understanding of mudra, you will perhaps sometimes shift it around. So you might start with the thumb on the tip of the index, thumb to the back of the nail of the index, the knuckle, the base of the index. Experiment and sit with it and see what happens, how you feel, what happens to the energy in that mudra. And so two key mudra that I practice and offer is the Chin mudra and the Gyan mudra. Now the Chit means knowledge or universal consciousness. So when you adopt either of these mudras, we're connecting with universal consciousness. We are seeking to cultivate our relationship with the source or divine source. And so when you bring the thumb to the tip, remember this thing, you can have the palms face up on your lap. That is Gyan mudra. We are seeking an uplifting knowledge or wisdom. If we have the palms face down on our laps, we are seeking to deepen and ground and solidify our sense of connection to the knowledge, to greater understanding. So upward is more uplifting, downward is more grounding. Sankalpa connects with truth and our vow to truth. So when we come into our sadhana, we are creating an intention. We are bringing intentionality to our practices. And Sankalpa is our vow of truth to tune in to our Dharma, our duty, our calling, our purpose in life. Dharma reflects and honors our life purpose. We are seeking to connect to our highest inspiration. What is it that calls us into action into the world, and how are we responding to that calling? And so our Sankalpa is that open invitation to connect to our purpose, to connect to our intentions, which will deepen and layer our practice, and again turbocharging our Hasta Mudra practice, our Yogasana practice, our meditation practice. And there are 4 concepts that I want to introduce here before we practice our Sankalpa. Shravana means a willingness to listen deeply, tuning in, being prepared to arrive with an open mind. Manana is remember manas comes from the mind. It's a willingness to embrace and welcome whatever arises, comes up for us. Nidhyasana is then a willingness to act and honor what has arisen, a commitment to doing the work. This will all lead to liberation, moksha. And moksha is the state towards which we are heading. Moksha enables us to attain consciousness and blissful consciousness. These 2 mudra, Sankalpa mudra and Vajrapradama mudra, are mudras that will help us to tune in to our Sankalpa, to listen and hear and tune in and act on our Sankalpa. So your option is to offer this either one to your students at the beginning of your class, or at the beginning of a workshop or the beginning of a course of teachings. So the Sankalpa Mudra is take the left hand across the heart and place the left hand on top of the right hand. So in a lattice style movement, and then fold the fingers over, and then place the back of the right hand on the right thigh. This is a Sankalpa Mudra. This is one option. Another option is the Vajrapradama Mudra, where you interlace the fingers and place the hands above the heart, the Anahata. This is having unshakable trust and confidence in one's Sankalpa. This helps to connect to our cosmic mind, our cosmic consciousness. So Buddhi, our mind, connects to the cosmic consciousness. So choose your Sankalpa or Vajrapradama Mudra. And let's take a few moments to sit here in silence, to connect with one's intention, to listen to one's calling of the heart. Breathe deeply into the Anahata chakra. Breathing into the heart space, breathing from the heart space. The mind may be busy. Focus on the breath itself, the in and out. Be aware of the length and depth of your breath, the pace of your breath. Another sensation to tune in is the sensation of the hands. Either palms connected in Sankalpa Mudra or the palms connecting to the space of the chest that protects the heart space. Tune into this sensation. You may already have a very clear and purposeful intention that you can hear calling loudly. Perhaps the sound is more subtle and whispered, difficult to make out. Plant a seed here of potentiality, vowing to let what will be grow in its own time, trusting that your practice will nurture and nourish and hydrate this seed, so that in time you will hear the calling of your heart. You will become aware of your Sankalpa in time. Begin to consider these questions. What is the purpose of my life? What is the purpose of my life? What is the purpose of my life? What is my calling? What is my calling? What is my calling? These are questions without judgment, without expectation. They need not be huge. The impact may be small, yet significant and potent. We all have our own individual callings. And together we weave the great tapestry of the universe. Take a full breath in to your heart space, full breath out from your heart space. Bring your palms together in Namaskar at the heart center and thank yourself for giving time to reflect on your Sankalpa. Dhanyavad. 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 So a reminder that Hasta Mudra is for finding balance and resilience and discovering calm and joy. Those are some of the benefits of working with the subtle body. And when we think about the 5 elements, the Pancha Mahabhutas, and how practicing with Hasta Mudra can grow, expand energies connected with earth, Prithvi, such as stability, grounding, connection, security. Water, Jal, helps to bring us into flow, to release and let go, to adapt. With the element of fire, to find strength, build self-esteem, drive our willpower, give us courage when we need it most. The element of air, Vayu, expands our hearts, bringing us love, faith, compassion, enabling us to be forgiving, enabling us to discover freedom within and to strive for freedom without. And then the element of space, Akasha, for inner peace, grow creativity, authentic expression, expansiveness. So thinking about the Pancha Mahabhutas and diving in a little bit more deeply into the elemental essence and how it's connected to the mudras. So here is on this slide, is a list of mudra that align with each element. And I know that under Akasha, you're not going to be able to see all of it, but on the PDF of this presentation, you'll be able to see all of the names of the recommended mudra for each element. So let's start with the element of earth, Prithvi. This is the principle of solidity, and so we are thinking here in terms of density, heavy, grounding, resistance. Also thinking about the quality of earth, of cohesiveness, of finding safety, for protection, and form. In terms of the Anamaya kosha, here we're thinking about the bones, the muscles, the skins, the tendons, and the cartilage, and the sense of smell, ganda, is associated with this element. It resides at the base of the spine, at the muladhara, near the perineum. It provides the base, the foundation, and it gives us stability and grounding. Recommended and options for mudra include Prithvi, Bhumi Sparsha, Bhu, Apan, Sthira, and Vishnu. And you can find examples of these either in the slide deck with the Hasta Mudra or search for them online. They're widely available. If you're working with the element of water, Jal, this is the principle of liquidity. Difficult word to say. Things that flow, a sense of allowing, loosening, something that dissolves, something that's adaptive and receptive. These are the principles associated with water. Circulation, lubrication. Water holds our memories. This is why our ancestral practice is the Jal Puja. And it's connected in the Annamaya kosha, the fluids of the body, water, lymph, blood, tears, and hormones. And then the sense is taste, rasa. Rasa also means sweetness, amrita, nectar. And it resides at the Swadhisthana chakra, at the sacral. And it's kind of where our emotions flow, our creativity and creation, so reproduction, and our organs, our sexual organs, our relationship with sensuality and our sexual identity and our sexual orientation sits here with the element of water, and the adaptability and the fluidity of water very much connects to that. The mudra that you may choose to explore, Varuna, Dharmachakra, Mahatrika, Shakti, Karana, Makara, Yoni. Moving on to the element of fire, Tejas, and the principle here is transformation. This is one of the most potent elements, and it was why we work with the thumb is associated with the element of fire, because it's so integral to all of the other elements and the qualities and the essence of the other elements. Qualities here are sharp, penetrating, incisive, clarifying, burning. There's a radiance, luminosity associated here, digestion, processing. Here on an Annamaya level, our food is digested into nourishment and waste. Our enzymes, digestive enzymes, body temperature are represented here at the Annamaya kosha level. The sense is sight, and Agni is the seat for this is the Manipur chakra. It is associated with the navel chakra. And Agni, or Tejas, warms. Agni is also the digestive fire. It warms, it cooks, it transforms. It is the self-generation fire of tapas, of our dedication and commitment to yoga practice. Our mudra to explore, and one I often use is Agni Mudra, Surya, Linga, Pushan, Shanka, and Pitta Mudra. Moving to Ayu, that is a combination of like me bringing together two different languages, air and Vayu, Ayu. Vayu. That is classic. Classic happens in my family all the time, and we just laugh at each other whenever we bring English words together with Punjabi, which is my mother tongue, and Hindi words. So principle of air is associated with mobility, movement, responsiveness, freedom, change. And sort of our really here, we are much more in the pranamaya kosha. This is where the energy circulates, like subtle air moves, movement of air. So we're talking about our circulatory system, our nervous system, our impulses. The sense is touch, sparsha, and Vayu is seated in the heart area, the Anahata chakra, and here it sort of expands in all directions. So this is how we touch each other with our energy, how we affect each other, the ripple effects of how we move other people, how we move and affect and impact our environment. The Mudra, Vayu, Anahata, Grantita, Padma, Hridya, Garuda, and Kashpana mudras are all offered that work on the Vayu, Vayu Pancha Mahabhuta. Right. And then moving finally onto Akasha, space or ether. This is a principle of vacuity, of unbounded, limitless, all-pervading, blank canvas, intangible, expansive. Here there is space, and it's all space within the body, all the space that we find within each cell, within each organ. It is how information and knowledge transmits and flows. The element is sound, shabda, And the seat of this element is the throat chakra, Vishuddha chakra. So sound, the sense of sound is also connected to listening and hearing. Not only the expressive communication, but the receptive aspects of communication. And the mudra here, Akasha, Gyan, Shunya, Udan, Vishnu, Sankalpa, Hakini, and Matangi mudra are recommended here. Let's practice mudra associated with each element, each Pancha Mahabhuta, and each chakra, starting with Earth, Prithvi element, and the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. Prithvi mudra, earth gesture, thumb to tip of ring finger. Palms can be face down on your knees if you're seated. Moving to Bu mudra, touching the earth gesture, fold in the ring and little finger. Bring the thumb to touch the knuckle of the ring and little finger. Extend the index and middle finger, and then rest on your knees, pointing the fingers down towards the earth, touching the earth gesture. Earth witness gesture, Bhumi Sparsha. Let's bring the left palm across the body, palm face up, fingers together, gentle curve, rest that in your lap. Your right hand, all of the fingers together, gentle curve, rest the right wrist on the right knee so that the fingers are pointing down towards the earth. If you're seated in Sukhasana, or if you're on your chair, resting your hands in your lap and on your knee. Bhumi Sparsha, earth witness mudra. Let's think about the Muladhara root chakra. So this is both hands face each other, interlace all the fingers. Interlace all the fingers. Actually, let me try again because I want to show you. Interlace them inwards. And then bring the thumbs into the middle, tucking them in behind the index. Now release the middle fingers and bring the tip of the middle fingers to touch so you create this pyramid. This is the Muladhara chakra mudra, the root chakra mudra. So let's practice that again because my instructions weren't perfect. Hands parallel. Interlace the fingers so the fingers are interlaced inwards. Bring the heels of the hands together, tuck in the thumbs. So you cross the thumbs. And then release the middle fingers and they connect. And then this can rest in your lap, gently resting in your lap and fingers pointing out. The core mudra is Gyan, palms face down. And that becomes the Chin mudra, wisdom gesture. Let's bring the palm to the right hand, right shoulder, fingers together, gently curled, Vaya mudra, fearlessness mudra. Another option for you is Adi mudra. So tucking the thumbs into the palms, fold over the fingers, and you create these gentle fists, and these can rest together, tucked in at, if you're seated, where your legs meet your torso. So find those folds underneath your belly and tuck the hands in there. That's the Adi mudra, the calming mudra. Apan mudra, bring the middle and ring finger to touch the thumb, extend the index and little finger. Apan mudra, clearing, discharging, releasing, letting go mudra. It's also a mudra for cleansing the energy. Another mudra is the Pranidhan mudra, the mudra of surrender, so similar to the Apan mudra. This time let's bring the index tips together, little fingers together. So little fingertips of little fingers, tips of index, and then fold in the middle and ring finger and touch the thumb. So you little fingers together, index fingers together, fold in the middle and ring finger, and then bring the thumb to touch the middle and ring finger. This is the Pranidhan Mudra, the mudra for surrender. Sthira Mudra. Sthira Mudra is a mudra to come into a place of steadiness, of stability. And we use both hands for this one. And we have a slightly different mudra in each hand. So right hand, let's fold in the ring finger and take the thumb to the inside nail of the ring finger. All of the other fingers are gently extended. The left hand, let's bring the tip of the ring and little finger together in Prithvi Mudra. So left hand, the tips of the fingers are together. Right hand, thumb nail and ring fingernail next to each other. This is the Sthira Mudra, the mudra for bringing and inviting steadiness, stability. Balanced with that, of course, we have the Sukha Mudra. Sukha Mudra is mudra to release and let go of stress. So let's bring the tip of the thumb and little finger together and just gently curl in all the other fingers, softly curled in. And then let's bring the thumb to the nail of the little finger on the left hand. And again, fingers gently curled in. So left hand thumb to little finger nail, and then right hand thumb to the tip of little finger, and all the other fingers are gently close together. This is to relieve stress. Sukha Mudra, to relieve stress, to let go of tension, and to invite calming relief. And then finally the Vishnu Mudra, which is a universal mudra. And you do the Vishnu Mudra when you do Anulom Vilom, the Nadi Shodhana practices. Fold in the middle fingers, fold in the index and middle finger, that's the peace fingers. Extend the ring and little finger, thumb extended. And this is your Vishnu Mudra. And we often use the Vishnu Mudra when we're doing Nadi Shodhana breathing. Breathing or alternate nostril. And this mudra just invites in balance. So you don't have to do it to the nose. You can just hold the Vishnu Mudra. And Vishnu Mudra just invites in that balance. And finally, the Kali Mudra is a mudra that particularly if you're standing, which can be very powerful. And this mudra, we want to bring the hands parallel in front of you, interlace the index, middle and little finger. So you can bring the right finger, little fingers on the outside. And now extend the ring finger. We're pointing straight. So it's quite tricky. And bring the thumbs together. So this is the Black Goddess Mudra. Let's do that again. Parallel hands, interlace your fingers to start with. So the right little finger is on the outside. So cross the little fingers, extend the ring finger. The other fingers all remained interlaced. I'm going to show you from different angles. It's a tricky one. This is the Black Goddess Mudra, and often referred to as the Kali Mudra. The water element, Jal or Abas, and the Svadhisthana chakra. Let's start with the Matsya Mudra. Matsya is the fish mudra. So let's bring the one right hand on top of the left hand and extend the thumbs. So when you're looking at it from your side, it's going to look like that. And so this creates the Matsya Mudra. The Matsya Mudra is a mudra for fluidity, for flow, for adaptability. Mudra for bringing harmony. Bring the tip of your thumbs together, tip of the index together, creating a triangle, downward pointing triangle, and then place that in front of the sacral area on the lower abdomen. And this is the Trimurta Mudra for harmony, for transitions, for equanimity. The Shankha Mudra. So let's take hold of the right hand and wrap it around the left thumb, and then bring the thumb to touch the left index. So left hand, wrap the right fingers around the left thumb, right thumb to left index. Shankha Mudra. This is a mudra for inner balance, well-being, feeling and growing the feelings of nourishment and safety. Shankha Mudra. Like a conch. So conches, as we know, are very medicinal. So this is Shankha Mudra is one of the healing mudras. Mira Mudra is the nourishment mudra. And so for this one, just do some things around here. Let's bring the tip of the little finger to the thumb. Bring the ring finger to touch each other. And so the tip of the little finger and thumbs of both hands come together. Ring fingers come to connect. Middle finger and index finger are fanned out. This is the Mira Mudra. I'll just show you from a different angle. And this is a mudra for nourishment, for serenity. Let's move on to mudra for being receptive, welcoming, embracing, opening. It's the Yoni Mudra. The Yoni Mudra, interlace all of the fingers, bring the thumbs to touch, and then extend the index fingers so they connect. So you have this angle here. So interlace all the fingers inwards and then release the index so they connect and the thumbs connect. This is the Yoni Mudra. And again, you can place this in front of your sacral area or hold it on your lap as it feels comfortable. And this mudra is for sensual and sexual awakening as well. Swadhisthana Mudra. Now this is a really tricky mudra, the Swadhisthana Mudra, so I'm going to try and show you as best I can. We want to bend the little finger and the ring finger and interlace them. And then bring the tips of the index fingers together and join the thumb with the middle finger. So you take the middle finger over the index and you join that. So we create this sort of shape. So interlace the ring and little finger. Cross the middle finger over the index tips touch, and then the thumb and the middle fingers touch. This is the Swadhisthana Mudra. So it's quite tricky. Let me show you that way. Show it that way. Let's practice one more time the Swadhisthana Mudra. Interlace the little and ring finger. Bring the tips of the index fingers together and cross the middle finger over it. And then the middle fingers come to touch the thumbs. There's the camera. I need to remember where the camera is. There we go. So much easier to practice mudra in person than trying to explain it, because I can literally walk around and show you what it looks like. And if that requires quite a lot of dexterity with the fingers, and so it is not always, all of the mudra are not going to be accessible. Visualization is one way to connect with the mudra, because remember, it's subtle energy. We're kind of starting at the Annamaya kosha, but we're working to the deeper layers of the koshas. So if it feels inaccessible, then you adopt another mudra that's associated with the Swadhisthana, and so that is the Varuna Mudra. So remember, the little finger is connected to the element of water, so the tips of the fingers come together, and that represents the Swadhisthana chakra also. And let me think about any others that I want to share with you. So I'm just going to look through my notes and check. So the Mahatrika mudra is the Great Triangle mudra, and I did mention that. And Maha means great, and Trika means triangle. So for this, let's bring both hands. You use both hands again, and we're going to bring the little fingertips together so they connect, and we bring the thumbs and the index of each finger and connect them, and we allow the middle and ring finger to be relaxed, and then rotate the hands so that all of the fingers are pointing down. So the only fingers that are connected, the Mahatrika, the little fingers are connected, the ring and little fingers are extended but open, and then the thumb and the index fingers are connected, and then they connect to each other. So you create this sort of seeing eyes almost, and then you rotate your hands so that the fingers are pointing downwards. And you can rest them in your lap. This mudra is for really releasing pain and suffering, and it's sort of focused on the Swadhisthana, the sacral areas. So if you are experiencing pain, suffering, or discomfort in that area, in the Swadhisthana area, perhaps connected to infertility, perhaps anxiety around sexual orientation and sexual identity, and feeling the misalignment there, perhaps impotence or low sexual desire. This mudra is very powerful for that Mahatrika mudra. So remember here we connect the little fingers, connect the middle index finger and thumb, and leave the other fingers open and point down towards the earth. Mahatrika. So I think that might be it for our final is the Shakti mudra. Actually, Shakti mudra is the power mudra. So for Shakti mudra, let's connect the little finger and the mid ring fingers with the opposite hand. Fold in the thumb and then wrap around the index and middle finger. So this is the Shakti mudra. So little fingers, ring fingers, thumb folded in, middle and index folded over the top. Shakti mudra, power. This is a power gesture for really connecting with the creative energy of the universe, often described as the energy of nurturing, of creation, of imagination, and power within that. Moving to the transformative element of fire, Tejas Agni, and the Manipur chakra. So the first one is Agniya chakra, which is the fire gesture, chakra for determination, for growing your willpower. Left palm up, right fingers curled in, thumb extended in front of the navel. That's the Agni mudra. The Guru mudra, which connects to Jupiter, is fingers curled in, of the right hand, fingers curled in, thumb extended, and you can do that with both hands, and then place your hands on your knees. So Jupiter mudra is really for connecting to the energy of being the leader, change maker, the guide, an elder, and the wisdom and steadiness and balance that comes from it, the Guru mudra. It's also known as the Mirudanda mudra. So remember, Miru is also an alternative word for knowledge, for wisdom, and Danda means stick. Another mudra here, the Linga mudra, so for the mark of Shiva. Interlace your fingers, but this time outward, and then extend the thumb of the right hand and then take and then wrap. So you're going to have to make sure the little finger of the right hand is on the outside here. And then the right hand thumb is extended, and then wrap the index and thumb of the left hand around the extended thumb. So interlace, right finger needs to be on the little right finger needs to be on the outside. The thumb is extended of the right hand, and then wrap the index and thumb around the extended. And this is the Linga Mudra. This is the mark of Shiva. Shiva is the energy of consciousness. It is the dormant energy, the energy of potentiality within us and within the universe. And Shiva represents the infinite consciousness. This is very activating and stimulating mudra. Surya Mudra for the sun seal, and this is bringing the thumb to the knuckle of the ring finger, which represents the element of earth. So this is the Surya Mudra. Surya Mudra is to find inspiration to counter lethargy in the body, drawing upon the light of the sun, shifting where we may feel darkness or withdrawal, depression. Pushan Mudra. So this is one I referred to. Pushan Mudra is the mudra for good health, for bringing good health. So for your right hand, bring the thumb to the tip of the index and middle finger and extend the other two fingers softly. For the left hand, bring the thumb to the tip of the middle and ring fingers and extend the other fingers. So Pushan Mudra, right hand, the index and middle finger and thumb connect, left hand, thumb, middle and ring finger connects, and your palms face up on your lap. Pushan Mudra, bringer and giver of good health. Let's think about which other one. The Shankar Mudra we've already done, so that's one that you can use here. Matangi Mudra. So Matangi Mudra is a mudra for transformation. So we need the right thumb over the left thumb here. So when you cross, make sure the right thumb is over the left thumb. So we cross the fingers outside of the palm, outside of the hands. Right thumb on top of left thumb. And then extend the middle fingers. And here we've got the right thumb crossing over the left thumb, middle fingers extended. This is the mudra for vital life energy, for life purpose. And you can hold this mudra at the, so forgive me, you can hold this mudra at the heart, at the navel, or above the crown with your arms reaching up. So that's Matangi Mudra. And then let's think about okay, so we have the Guru Mudra here. If you bring both of your hands together, and you bring the thumbs together, this is Mushti. Mushtika. So Mushti is when the thumb is folded in. Mushtika is when the thumb is extended. And this is a mudra for determination, when you need fierce determination, when you need that single focus. And so Mushti Mudra is for that, when you really need that strong sense of discipline. Pitta pacifying mudra, so we take the thumb to the space between the ring and little finger. That's a pitta pacifying mudra. Thumb to the base, the webbed bit of the flesh between the ring and little finger. Pitta pacifying mudra. I think let's pause there. Let's focus on Vayu, the element of air, and the Anahat chakra now. So the key mudra here is the Vayu mudra, thumb to the knuckle of the index finger. Vayu Mudra. This is the air gesture. And you can use the Vayu Mudra, for example, when you're doing a kriya such as Kapalabhati, that shining skull breath. Let's do the Anahata Mudra. So Anahata Mudra. Thumbs aligned together, index fingers connected. Let's cross over the middle fingers, cross over the ring fingers, and then tips of index connected. So thumbs connected, the sides of the thumbnails. Let's just show you. So tips of the index connected, interlace the middle and ring fingers, tips of little finger connected. This is the Anahata Mudra, the heart gesture. Also Padma. This is the lotus flower mudra. So you bring the tips of the fingers together, gentle opening, open out into Padma. The little finger side and the thumb side remain connected when you open up. The Padma gesture. This is a blossoming or the opening of the heart as we arise from the mud, as the lotus arises from the mud. This brings positivity, if that's what you wish to bring into your perspective. And also brings in unconditional love. The Vajra Pradama Mudra that we had earlier, where you interlace all your fingers, thumbs extended, for trust, unshakable trust at the heart center. So this is the Vajra Pradama Mudra. We have the Hridaya Mudra, compassionate heart mudra. So bring the index to the base of the thumb and then curl the middle and ring finger and place the little finger on top. So curl the index to the base of the thumb, tip of middle to the thumb, index to the side, and then the little finger connects to the side there. So this is sort of like a snail. And the little finger it's a little softer, the little finger. It is the middle and ring finger that directly connect with the thumb here. And this is a Hridaya Mudra, compassionate heart. And one that I encourage you to use for meditation, especially loving kindness meditation. We also have what we call the Tejas Mudra. So the Tejas Mudra is when you want to bring brightness and brilliance to your heart space. So bring the thumbs together, tips of the index fingers together. So you create a sort of little temple. It almost looks like a little diva. Like if you imagine the thumbs are a candlelight, and then the wick, and then the index fingers creates the flame, and then the other three fingers open out. This is the Tejas Mudra for bringing brilliance to the heart space, inner radiance. And finally, don't want to forget this, the Garuda Mudra. So again, the Garuda Mudra is interlace the fingers, and it's the winged eagle mudra, eagle gesture, and then bring that to your heart. This enables you to invite freedom and courage to explore to your heart space. Garuda Mudra. The Grantita Mudra is for when one is feeling grief. So interlace all your fingers and then bring the index and the thumb of opposite fingers to touch. This is Grantita Mudra, the knot gesture to release grief and sadness and sorrow. Letting go, helping to resolve our inner wounds. And we bring it to the heart where the Vishnu Granthi is, the knot of grief. So Grantita Mudra. Interlace all your fingers and then index and thumb of the opposite hands together. So you have the index and thumb together and they sort of wrap around each other. And then finally, the Pranapan Mudra. So this is a mudra for taking in and letting go. So taking in what one needs and letting go of what one does not need. This is bringing two of the mudras together. The Apan Mudra, so left hand, bring the thumb to the tips of the middle and ring finger, and then index and little finger extended. And then the right hand, let's bring the middle and ring finger, middle and index finger to connect with the thumb, ring and little finger extended. So pran, apan. Pran with the right hand, index and middle finger touching the thumb, other fingers extended. Apan with the left hand, middle and ring finger connected to the thumb, and index and little finger extended. Pranapan. And then you can lie in Matsyasana, in Shavasana with the Pranapan Mudra. It's a great one for integration, taking in what one needs and letting go of what does not serve one. And then the Kshpana Mudra, the letting go gesture, and which is often what we use for Ardha Chandrasana. So interlace all your fingers, extend the index, and then cross the thumb. So index extended across the thumb. Sometimes this is called Kali Mudra, but I showed you the Kali Mudra earlier. It's a lot more complex than this one, but this is sort of sometimes described as the simplified Kali Mudra. It's the gesture of the sword of cutting through, of letting go. So crossing the thumbs over and extending the fingers. Moving to the Akasha element, the element of space, and the Vishuddha chakra, the throat center. Let's come to our first mudra, the Akasha mudra, thumb and middle finger connected in touching the void gesture. So this is the key Akasha mudra. The Shunya mudra, silence of the void, that is Shunya mudra. Bring the thumb to the knuckle of the middle finger. That's Shunya mudra. This is to represent zero, nothingness, infinite space, the silence of it. Shunya mudra. This is really when you want to go deeply into your own silence, deep into your quiet. So Shunya mudra, very powerful mudra for silence of the void. We have the Vishuddha mudra. So interlace the fingers inwards, and then also almost weaving the index through so that you're touching the thumb. This is a Vishuddha chakra. So you create a sort of circle there to represent the Vishuddha chakra. So interlace the fingers inwards, and the left hand is on the outside coming here, and then thread the index through the loop so that you touch the thumb. Index and the thumb touch. Udan Mudra is the upward flying Pranvayu here, Udan Mudra. So that is the index touches the thumb, and then you place the middle on top, and then the ring on top of the middle knuckle, and then the little finger extended. So this is the Udan, upward flying gesture. Middle to thumb, sorry, index to thumb, middle up to nail of index, ring to knuckle of middle, and then little finger extended, upward flying mudra. Brahmra mudra, mudra for honeybee breath or humming bee breath, Brahmri breath. So Brahmra mudra is curl in the index tightly into the base of the thumb, and then place the middle finger on top of the thumb. Brahmra mudra. So if you're practicing Brahmri breath, you would use the Brahmra mudra. Shanmukhi mudra. Shanmukhi mudra is when we want to go into a state of complete withdrawal and pratyahar. And so the 8 gates, we close the 8 gates. So little fingers underneath the bottom lip, ring fingers above the top lip and underneath the nostrils, Middle fingers will close the nostril, and then index fingers close the eyes, and then the thumbs close the ears. This is Shanmukhi Mudra. Turning into silence to withdraw. Gazing into the void. So this is if you really need to focus, you have something that you need to focus on and concentrate on. So you bring the thumb to the top lip, just underneath the nose, fold in the middle fingers and extend the little finger. And this Bhucharya Mudra, gazing into the void, helps you focus the mind. Really stilling and calming. So you can use the Kali Mudra again for the Vishuddha chakra. You can use the Garuda Mudra for the chakra. Brahmra. Samputa. So Samputa Mudra is for finding inner truth. And we want to hold the left hand, cup it, and then place the right hand on top. So as if we're holding, delicately and gently holding a tiny little bird. We bring it to the core there. And then finally, let's do one more. Kubera Mudra is guardian of the wealth. Fold in the middle, fold in the ring and baby finger, and then the tips of the index and middle fingers connect to the thumb. Kubera Mudra. This is if you are being a guardian, guardian of wealth, guardian of the north, guardian of ancestors, guardian of descendants. So thinking about our doshas, and we will, when we focus on Ayurveda, the science of life, we will dive much more into doshas, and so we'll be covering our doshas this weekend as well. Dosha is a combination of the elements which shape and guide the energetic expression of the self. It is unique to each individual, and the combination and the balance of those elements, we have all of the elements within us, but we have differing degrees of those elements and different combinations of the elements, resulting in our dosha. And there's a quiz that I have developed that can help you identify your dosha. And there's lots available online anyway, but I will be giving you a dosha quiz, which you can find in the materials on Think Effort. Now, Vata is the combination of the elements of air and space together, Vayunakasha. Pitta is the element of fire and water together, Tejas and Ja. And Kapha are the elements of earth and water together, Prithvi and Jal together. And so the fingers that we use, remember each finger is representative of different elements. So we have the thumb represents fire, index air, middle space, ring earth, little water. So when we bring the index and the middle, that represents Vata, air and ether together. So you can bring them to touch the thumb. Fire is the thumb and water is the little finger. So when we bring the thumb and the little finger together, we're representing Pitta. Earth and water is the ring and the little finger. So when we bring the ring and the little finger to touch the thumb, we are representing Kapha, the elements of earth and water. So that combination of fingers helps us to directly connect to our dosha, or a dosha that we want to grow or enhance. And remember when we talked about the positioning of the finger, so that's really important as well. So when we bring the tip of the fingers together, that's balancing, finding stability and balance in the dosha. When we bring the tip of the thumb to the base of the finger, so if I brought the thumb to the base of the ring and little finger, that is growing the element of kapha, earth and water. So the base grows and increases the element or the dosha. If we bring the dosha finger to the base of the thumb, this is how we reduce the excess of a dosha. So for example, say I have excess of my dosha is pitta vata. So I have excess of fire. So perhaps say I'm getting overheated, or perhaps I'm feeling more argumentative, coming into more conflict, or perhaps I'm kind of getting very passionate about something, which can feel overwhelming for myself or others. Then I want to bring the pitta down. I want to reduce the pitta. I want to reduce the fire and the element of water. So my thumb and little finger. So I'll bring the little finger to the base of the thumb. That will or I'll take the thumb to the base of the little finger. So either way, so little finger or thumb to the base of the little finger. That will help to bring, because remember the thumb represents the fire, so it's going to be more difficult. So we take the thumb to the base of the little finger. What that will do is that will increase the water and reduce the fire. If we bring the little finger to the base of the thumb, it will have a cooling effect on the fire. It will reduce fire. So they kind of both work in either direction, but that's the principle. That will help you to understand the principle. And then Saman is when we bring all of our fingertips together, Saman Mudra, or it's also known as, so all the fingertips come together, including the thumb. This is known as Saman Mudra or the Tridoshik Nashak Mudra. And the Saman Mudra is useful for balancing all three of the doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And it also balances all of the elements within the body, so it's very beneficial. If anything feels out of sync, you feel slightly disturbed or dysregulated, then Saman Mudra. Saman also helps to Saman when we think of the Pancha Pranic Vayus, Pancha Pran Vayus. Saman is the Vayu of digestion, of processing, of balance, of integration. And so it's one that's highly recommended. And if you are feeling particularly unstable or unsteady or dysregulated, then holding the Saman Mudra for the whole of your meditation practice, if you have a meditation practice of around half an hour, particularly beneficial. And remember, we want to, whenever we practice any of our mudras, we want to try and maintain length in the spine as the energy flows along the spine, the Sushmana channel, the central channel. Particular time for mudra practice is morning. For the Saman Mudra is morning. It really helps to integrate us before we start our day. So some offerings for balancing the different doshas. We have the Gyan, Akash, and Shunya Mudra for balancing Vata. We have the Pran, Varun, and Surya Mudra for balancing Pitta, and the Surya and the Varun Mudra for balancing Kapha. So here we go, let's visit those again. Gyan, Akash, Shunya, Vata. Pran, Varun, Surya for Pitta, Surya and Varun for Kapha. this will help to bring balance to those doshas in particular. So these are some easy go-to mudra. So this table helps to just set out how we want to increase or invite dosha energy to be lifted. So it's called Vardak. So when it's too low, we can increase it. It feels depleted. If it feels too high or too dominant or too powerful, then we want to pacify, shamak. So we've got Vardak to increase and shamak to decrease. So these are some of the mudras that you can choose. And I'll leave you to read this and decide which one suits you in the moment. And if it sometimes gets a bit too complicated to think about all the different types of mudra for balance, then remember, always go back to the Saman mudra, the Tridosha Nashak mudra. And here it is. So there you go. You have a nice reminder there about the Saman mudra. And two mudra that I particularly recommend, and for especially when you're starting on a new journey or you're in where you are challenging and coming across things that might make you feel uncomfortable, then I really invite you to work with the Agni Mudra. This is the left palm at the navel, right hand fingers curled in, thumb extended. This is Agni Mudra, and this helps to drive our willpower, our commitment, our dedication, and helps to strengthen and bring courage. And a mantra that you may wish to engage to lift this element of Agni, of fire. So Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. And you can chant it 3 times out loud, 3 times whispered, 3 times silently. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Whispered. Om Dum Durgaye. Om Durgaye. Om Dum Durgaye. Silently. Take a full breath in and then sit silently with this mudra. And if the mind wanders and the energy begins to dissipate, silently chant Om Dum Durgaye Namaha again to bring you back to the focus of the mudra and the energy, elemental energy that we are increasing. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Release the mudra, release the mantra. And it's very powerful if you are feeling tired or cold or exhausted, feeling overworked. It really promotes reinvigoration and renewal. The Vayu Mudra, with the thumb to the knuckle of the index finger, is where you want to calm the feelings of instability or anxiety or nervousness. It invites where you have imbalances or any sort of vata related issues. This helps to bring you back into a state of comfort, a state of stillness. And so for the Vayu Mudra, bring the thumb to the knuckle. And the mantra you can chant here is So Hum Hamsa. I am that. Who am I? I am that. Who am I? I am that. And each sound is on the breath. So hum. So inhaling so, exhaling hum. Inhaling hum, exhaling sa. So continuing with that cycle. So coming into your Vayu Mudra, let's chant So Hum Hamsa 3 times out loud, 3 times whispered, 3 times silently, and then sit with it, coming back to it if your energy begins to dissipate. Inhale to prepare. So hum, hamsa. So hum, hamsa. So hum, hamsa. So hum, hamsa. Whispered. Hamsa. So hum, hamsa. So hum, hamsa. Silently. So hum, hamsa. So hum, hamsa. So hum, hamsa. Releasing the mudra and the mantra. Dhanyavad. 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 So that is our mudra introduction to mudra and some of the key principles of mudra practice completed. There is a slide deck with the different practices of the mudra that you can rehearse and introduce and embed in your practice. And remember that they are connected to different elements. So one of the things that we can think about is what those different mudra look like. So I'm going to close this section and invite you to, when you're ready, do your hand warm up, finger, hand, shoulder warm up, and then seat yourself and practice the different mudra and think about which element they're connected to, which chakra they're connected to, and bring some intentionality to your practice. Remember to go back to that slide deck that has the different elements on it, that gives you a list of the different mudra, and I'll try and share them with you as well. Let's take a pause there.